Welcome to Trenchcoat Gaming. I'm your host, Kirby, and I'm here with the Daring Jester.
And today we're going to be reading SCP-370. We have received no further comments within the past 15 seconds to make another video, but we're going to do it anyways, because we're starting to have fun with this and we're starting to get the hang of it. And also, the previous video may not be posted anyways, because it's actually really, really graphic. So this will actually be our first video, so enjoy! With that being said, will you kick us right off?
Item number SCP-370. Object class Keter. Warning. SCP-370 is an exceedingly contagious
Memetic
infection. No case of person being infected simply from reading this article have yet been recorded. But needless as a precaution, this document may only be read in controlled environments with mechanisms in place to terminate the reader at the first symptoms. Spreading any information about SCP-70 by word of mouth is ground for immediate termination. Special containment procedures. SCP-370 itself is embedded in a small slab of solid lead and kept inside a solid steel box with no openings and a 0.5 meter thick wall. Under no circumstances is SCP-370 to be removed from either this box or the lead slab. If SCP-370 becomes partially or completely exposed, blindfolded personnel will be assigned to locate it with a metal detector. An electromagnetic will then be used to transfer SCP-370 to a small mold filled with molten lead. Once this has been hardened, the lead slab containing SCP-370 will be returned to its steel box, and the box returned to its containment vault. This box is kept in a special designated vault at site data expunged. SCP-370 requires no maintenance whatsoever and no research is authorized. Desire to open this vault to perform research on SCP-370 or for any other reason is a symptom of SCP-370's infection. Any personnel displaying this or any other symptoms may be quarantined immediately and terminated if symptoms persist. SCP-370's vulnerability status is unknown. No testing of this sort has been carried out, and no further testing is to be authorized due to the extreme risk of contagion to personnel involved. D-Class personnel with significant violent or sadist tendencies are to be preferred in all interactions with SCP-370 or potential SCP-370 contagious data. All live broadcast capabilities will be removed from any Foundation site that shows signs of SCP-370's persistence and restored one year after the last SCP-370 event. Any personnel assigned to SCP-370 who show a sudden improvement in overall well-being should be quarantined and deprived of sleep. If any personnel continue to display happiness symptoms despite this measure, termination will be authorized.
Description: SCP-370 is a key. The size, shape, and material and general appearances of SCP-370 are unknown. Knowledge of these characteristics is the primary vector for the spread of SCP-370's disease. Therefore, all records thought to contain such information have been destroyed without review. The disease caused by SCP-370 has three distinct sets of symptoms. Designations SCP-370A, B, and C. The form of the disease appearing in any given subject appears to be determined primarily by personality. SCP-370-A manifests most frequently in subjects characterized by their peers as self-centered or cowardly. It is the most common manifestation. Subjects suffering from the SCP-370-A show no symptoms upon the initial infection. However, these subjects will commit suicide as soon as they have an opportunity to do so with minimal suffering. For example, SCP-370-A victims will jump from high ledges or shoot themselves in the head with firearms, but will not cut their own wrists or hang themselves. The instant the subject's heart ceases to beat, the infected corpse will glow brilliantly and undergo an unknown transformation. Detailed knowledge of the transformation is a vector for the infection, as is direct visual contact with the light produced. No trace of any part of the subject's corpse has ever been recovered following the transformation. The majority of SCP-370-B subjects are commonly described as both extroverted and altruistic. However, an identical manifestation of SCP-370-B appears in individuals with strong sadistic or violent tendencies. Subjects infected with SCP-370-B initially become very calm. This stage lasts for several seconds and is followed by a sudden unprovoked assault on anyone within the subject's reach, which continues into an indiscriminate killing spree. Persons killed by the infected subject will glow brightly and undergo an unknown transformation, presumably the same or similar to that of the suicides. Initially, the infected subject is no more dangerous than any ordinary violent human. However, after approximately killing 2 to 3 victims, the subject's body will begin to radiate yellow light. This light appears to inhibit the sympathetic nervous system response of the subject's victims, making it difficult for victims to fight back. After approximately 5 to 6 successful kills, the light triples in intensity, and direct skin-to-skin contact with the subject becomes deadly. At this point, any eye contact with the victim becomes a contagious factor. After killing an average of 12 victims, subjects who were considered violent prior to infection may require as many as 50 kills to reach this stage. The subject will abruptly cease hostilities and enter the final phase of SCP-370-B infection. Subjects will raise its arms skyward and shout in a slightly amplified voice, data expunged, "Take me home." This sound seems to pass through soundproof walls and industrial-strength earmuffs with only slight muffling. Infection to all human beings within earshot is virtually guaranteed, except in cases of sensory deafness. After this cry, a shaft of radiation in the visible spectrum forms around the subject, who will then levitate several feet above the ground before redacted and vanishing. As with SCP-370-A, no traces of the vanished subject have ever been found. Take me home! Okay. SCP-370-C manifested subjects of high IQ and analytical or contemplative personality type, and is the most dangerous of the 3 manifestations. Unfortunately, the majority of Foundation's research staff are susceptible to SCP-370-C. Upon initial infection, subjects will close their eyes and remain voluntarily still and silent for an average of 30 seconds. If questioned on this, subjects will claim to have been praying. Any infected subjects detected at this stage must be terminated immediately and by any means necessary. After the initial infection, subjects will behave as normal, but with a significant increase in sense of well-being. This system persists even when the subject is forced into unpleasant conditions. Infected subjects seem to possess SCP-370's contagious knowledge about the appearance and exact nature of SCP-370. Whether or not they have ever been exposed to such information, subjects will actively and covertly attempt to spread SCP-370 infection, specifically targeting victims likely to manifest SCP-370-A or SCP-370-C. These efforts often include, but not limited to, mentioning SCP-370 contagious information in casual conversation, attempting to have SCP-370 removed from containment for research or attempted disposal, adding SCP-370 vectors to Foundation research notes or other documents, including this page, attempting to broadcast infectious material on a larger scale. After about 50 successful infections, SCP-370 enters its final phase. During this phase, the air around the subject radiates a small amount of light in a visible spectrum, creating a faint yellow glow around the subject. This glow induces a parasympathetic calming response in viewers and has a data expunged percent chance of causing infection for every minute of visual contact. Within about a day of this radiation appearing, regardless of any further successful infections, a flaming, data expunged, burn marks on any surface it touches and passes through and leaving no trace of the infected subject. This event leaves behind an invisible patch of contagious space which infects anyone who passes through it. Patches seem to fade in approximately 7 days, but as a precaution it should be avoided for a full 2 weeks. It has become apparent that SCP-370-C infection is being used by some personnel as an excuse to torment and murder fellow Foundation staff. The personnel responsible have been demoted to D-Class. However, considering the enormous threat posed by SCP-370-C, the containment protocol above will not be revised. From Dr. Data Expunged. Addendum 370-A.
No, you're reading it now.
The circumstances of SCP-370's original retrieval are unknown. It was found in the ruins of Site, data expunged. A Roman Foundation based in Easter, data expunged. These containment protocols, in their original form, in the described steel box, were found in a sealed vault along with a single corpse, identified as Dr. Data Expunged, unknown Satanist, and the doctor's personal log, which was found to be SCP-370 contagious. The rest of the site was abandoned and no other dead bodies were found, although signs of struggle were ubiquitous. The rest of the site's stored data on SCP-370 have been erased or destroyed, although a few useful notes on other SCPs were recovered, and particularly SCP data expunged. Several infections events occurred during recovery efforts that were to be contained with extreme prejudice, and the infection was believed extinct. SCP-370 was briefly designated safe, however, in light of recent data expunged. Keter designation has been restored. Anti-memetic security has been tightened throughout all Foundation sites.